10 o'clock flat in downtown Alton, heart of the 618 on this 9th day of June. You're watching our daily show on Roku TV and RiverBender.com. CJ Nasello here with you. Now with Don Mathenia, Love and Blood in the Heartland. It's more than just a collection, and it's a realization of this really cool dream. Don, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
I'm excited to be here. I'm excited about the book. I've had so many people encourage me over the years to get a lot of these things published. I've been writing in earnest since my college days, so we're talking mid-60s here.
Oh, wow. So, that's a lot of writing.
One of my college professors there, Dr. Ann Bernard, really got me started. I had my first poem published in the college. I don't know. It's a little publication of the English department called The Vortex, and actually that same poem is in this book right here. I was just telling you, and I'll tell the people watching here, just got my copy today. Individual copies people have been ordering for the last week. They're getting like in a few days, like 2, 3. My bulk copies aren't in yet, so that's how new this is. Yeah. But I thought the most interesting thing for everybody would be if I just share some of what is the topic or what the book's about.
Please do so. I think that's definitely the best way.
Okay, well, I'll start out by introducing the star of the book is right here. It's my dog Snippy. And there's a story. He was a stray. He came to our house, and when I don't remember exactly how old I was, but I was about 4, and he was actually stolen by some people, and he found his way back home. But this is
he must have liked home.
He apparently did, and he looked like he'd had a rough time of it. He was kind of beat up. I don't know what he went through coming back, but I mean that story is probably going to be one of the favorite poems in the book for a lot of people. And Mayor Mike Morrow wrote my foreword, and he concentrated on that. He loved that. But that was my buddy. Of course, that's after he came back. I was quite a bit older there, but he first came and was stolen away from us when I was like 4 or 5 years old.
Oh wow!
But a lot of the stories are centered around my growing up in Pike County. I was actually born in Pike County. My dad pastored a church in Pearl, Illinois, and this would have been 1945. I think he came there in 2 years before I was born. I think 43. But anyway, Pearl was actually a booming town at that time. There's not much left of it now, but a lot of river towns that's happened
Same way,
to.
yeah.
But Pearl, Illinois, some of you might know this if you know anything much about Pike County, but this shows you how Pearl got its name. Pearl buttons.
Really?
Pearl buttons. There was a button factory there, and the buttons were stamped out of mussel shells.
Are you serious? That's incredible.
Yeah, so mussel shells, they're just beautiful on the inside. Yeah. And used to be a lot of the roads around there, they didn't use gravel. They had the mussel shells that had the stamps out of them. That's what they paved the roads with.
No kidding.
Yeah, they're like the dirt roads.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, and like one of those roads where even when I was growing up, I could find a lot of those old shells with the holes stamped in them on the road to Abby Nelson's Fish Market, which is down at the river. But
that's so cool.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
And that it spells out Pearl. I did that up closer so you can see the buttons better. Yeah. But that was actually posted on the wall in the filling station at Pearl, which just closed recently. I didn't know that until I went over there on Memorial Day. I was going to my parents' and grandparents visit the graves, which is Green Pond Cemetery, which is there in Pike County. And they were closed. I was very sad. I was going to stop in there and talk to those people. But I hope that doesn't get lost in the shuffle somewhere. That needs to be preserved.
I 100% agree with you. That's pretty darn cool.
Yeah. And when I was almost 2, I was just short of 2 years old. It was in August, I think, 21st. The date's in the book. We had a flash flood in Pearl. And it was just an enormous tidal wave of water that came in, and our house was right by a creek there, and I can't explain how all the water came in or where it came from, but it was not a river flood. It was a flash, not per se. It wasn't like the whole area of the river came up. It was a flash flood, so it went down pretty quickly, as quickly as it came in. But it came in late in the evening, and it came in so fast, people had no time to get out, absolutely no time to get out. And so I've heard these stories from my mom and dad and various people. And my Uncle Harry, actually, my mom's brother, took a lot of great pictures of the aftermath of the flood, which I have no idea what happened to those pictures, sadly.
Yeah.
But cars buried in sand, you just barely see the tops of the cars, that kind of thing. But people had to climb trees, get on top of buildings. They had no time to escape at all. And so my mom said she could hear all through the night. She went to her mom and dad's place. This is my grandfather holding me.
Oh, wow.
And that would have been earlier than the flood. That obviously I wasn't very old there. But she went to their house with me, and my dad and my 2 older brothers stayed at our house to try to save things if they could. The water was coming up so fast. But my mom said she could hear people calling back and forth to each other, singing songs, saying, "Hey, Joe, are you all right?" "Yeah, I'm okay. How are you?" And like keeping each other company because they couldn't come down. They had to stay in trees all night or on top of buildings, wherever they could get. And nobody died, which was amazing.
That is amazing.
but it did a tremendous amount of damage, and it pretty much wiped our family out. But my brothers were stacking up furniture downstairs and some of the nicer things and trying to get them up out of the water. But it didn't help. It flooded the entire downstairs. And my brother Paul, he just told me this recently. He's 93 now. And he just told me just a couple of weeks ago, from the upstairs window, he opened the window to look out at the flood, and he'd reach out the window and stick his hand in the water.
Oh, wow.
But our house was located right where the flood was coming through, and it was like quivering. A lot of houses got washed off the foundations. And my dad was really afraid that was going to happen to ours. And, of course, he was praying. Everybody was praying.
I bet.
And a house that had washed off the foundations came roaring in and lodged between 2 trees right in front of our house and broke the current. There's a poem in there about that. And there's a poem about the aftermath of the flood and about a grocer and what happened to him and how he ended up sitting in a rocking chair with water up to his neck. That poem's in there.
Well, and this is what I find so fascinating. You're telling your life story through these poems.
Yeah, exactly.
This is what I find, and it's a unique story too. And what I find so fascinating is one that I think people can connect with just from maybe similar circumstances or what have you. And I think that's really important.
I think so, and I really hope so. My grandfather was a blacksmith, and also
no way.
Oh yeah.
I've been talking about. I had a blacksmith and his daughter, who's now a blacksmith, on the show about about a year, and ever since then, I've been so fascinated with this. I have no talent at all, Don. I'll be honest with you. That's why I talk into a microphone.
Well, you can talk, CJ.
That's it. That's all I got, Don. I'm telling you, it's all downhill after this. But whenever you look, especially at old blacksmithing and all the older work and just all the time that I went into, even with my great grandfather, they were glass blowers and seeing so.
Oh yeah.
It's just crazy to see the old and really just the time and really the dedication into each piece. And I'm sure with your grandfather, it was the same way.
Oh, it was great. He, my aunt and uncle had a little movie theater in Pearl, of all things.
Really?
And when I was 2 years old, my mom's sister, my Aunt Laura, actually took me down to the theater to see Bambi, which was re-released in '47.
Really?
It was not the original release; it was re-released. And I wouldn't sit down. I'd never been in a movie theater before, and all I remember, she was standing in the back holding me, and a big hoot owl on the screen, and it started going hoo like really loud and flapping, and I started screaming. She had to take me out, and I still remember that. And there's a poem about that.
I love this. Do you got a moment to take a break with me?
Yes,
Let's
absolutely.
take a quick break so I can pay a bill or two. It's 10:11. We'll come back with more of this Love and Blood in the Heartland. Don Mathenia, the book, out now. You can get
Yes.
it. Where can we get
Amazon. It will be available other places later, but right now it's just Amazon.
And we'll link that in an article at a later time. But we'll take a quick break. We'll be back in the studio right after this on Roku TV and RiverBender.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone. And over time, it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car. I have a job. There's nothing holding me back anymore.
Do you need to declutter your space? Time to call me, the Queen of Junk. Since 1993, we have grown to be the leader in residential, commercial, and property management junk removal. At Sparks Junk Removal, we are eco-friendly. We recycle, donate, or repurpose items back into our community. Trash is our last resort to the landfill. Plus, with our all-inclusive service, our crews handle everything from labor to lifting and landfill fees. Give us a call or visit our website, sparksjunkremoval.net, to reclaim your space today.
When you need a project done right, on budget and on time, trust Gillahan Concrete. Gillahan handles every kind of project, big and small. Commercial, industrial, residential, from room additions and garages to patios, driveways, and more. Gillahan brings quality and experience to every job. Family owned with over 30 years of service to our community. Call today at 618-781-3914 or visit GillahanConcrete.com.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh-made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
Have a rash, pink eye, or urinary tract infection and need care now? OSF On-Call Urgent Care is here to treat you. Start a virtual visit 24/7, whenever and wherever you need it. It's just that easy. osfoncall.org/virtual visit.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Welcome back. 10:14, a little bit of change on this Monday morning. It is the 9th day of June. Don Mathenia back in the studio. Love and Blood in the Heartland is out now on Amazon.com. And really, just a reflection of your life. And we're just talking about all these different stories. And what I find so fascinating is that you were able to gather all of this and really tell this story and remember them all. Because I've always thought, how cool would it be if we all kind of just wrote little notes about things that happened to us. And then we put it all together at the end, and that's the book. But you actually have done it.
Well, I have, and it's not through my entire life
Right.
as far as that goes. But by the way, Mike Morrow, the mayor, he wrote a book called proudly made in Flint, Michigan, which is his entire life up to the time he joined the Army. And it's really a great book, and he does that. But anyway, this is my dad who was fishing with my grandfather's nets.
Wow.
And unfortunately, my grandfather is not in that picture. But
That's cool.
Yeah, it's... and like I said, he was a blacksmith, which unfortunately, gave him cataracts back when nobody knew what to do about cataracts. Right. And that's actually covered in one of the, the poem that I actually wrote that was published by Blackburn in the Vortex called Illinois Rivertown Elegy. It covers that with, I won't say any more because it's kind of an overview.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but and this is my mom and dad and me, and that's our house in Staunton, Illinois, which is where I grew up. We moved out of Pearl after the flood because basically we just lost everything we had.
That's nice. What a nice photo, though. You guys had a nice looking family, too.
Well, hey, we did. And I've got pictures of with my brothers that are in the book also. And this is me and the love of my life, my high school sweetheart, Rosetta Nowell. And that was taken at her prom. And I was actually attending college in Springfield, Missouri at that time, and we got married. And I moved back to Staunton and enrolled at Blackburn College.
Wow! And
I had a almost 30-year teaching career. This is what I looked like when I started teaching.
That's right. Okay. I love this.
In Carrollton, Illinois.
I like the style you had, Don.
Hey, man.
Look at that. That's cool. I like that one. Well, and you had you taught for 30 years, right?
Yes.
Well, and teaching was a major part of your. I remember speaking to you before.
I loved teaching. I loved students. That was my mission. It didn't feel like work. You definitely don't go into teaching, especially when I did, to get wealthy. That's my first teaching job was like $5,000 a year.
Really?
That's even hard to believe now.
Yeah, I can't even wrap my head around that.
But anyway, yeah,
wow.
I loved it. There's a lot of my original artwork in the book also.
Oh, wow. This
one
is
of them,
beautiful.
a picture, and there's a poem about this, too. It's my dad at Jenny Lake.
This is cool.
Wyoming, Grand Teton National Park.
You got digital copies of these? By chance?
Well, no.
Okay.
They're I could get you something. They're in the book. This is a picture I took at Grafton on the waterfront. That's in the book.
Grafton.
And
wow.
Yeah, and I really like that picture.
Look at that. The detail on these are just fantastic, though.
Well, and that actually, I kind of messed with that a little bit, so it looks more like a painting than the original photograph. But there's a lot of my art in the book. It's not all serious, by the way. Oh, I will tell you this about one other thing, going back to Rosetta. My wife passed away in 2015.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And so one of the poems I wrote, my job with NFIB at the time, which I'm great friends with a lot of those people, give them a lot of kudos in the book, but I was on the road a lot. The job entailed a lot of driving. And there's a poem called Persistence of Regret, and it's about how difficult it is to keep your mind on positive things when you're stuck on the road for hours.
Yeah.
And you're coming home to an empty house.
Man.
Yeah. And but there's funny things, too, like a poem I wrote about turkey buzzards.
Turkey buzzards.
And I
I like the roadkill for $6. That's pretty fun. I like that one.
And I wrote a poem about the turkey buzzard, and it just starts. I just was driving down the road like I was this morning on the way here, down the river road, and there's all these thermals, especially on a sunny day, and the heat rising, and they just float around. And God bless the turkey buzzard, happiest critter I know. Floats around on thermals, eats dead stuff by the road. I mean, what a life, right?
That's true.
So
I love this. Well, and before I'm getting distracted because I know that Sun Studios. I've been there multiple. I love that place. I think that is so cool.
It's great.
So whenever you're writing about this is what I like is the diversity of your poems too. There's a lot of different types.
Oh well, there is. There's a ton of it, and it just, I mean, it's one of the things I put in the book. Just some of my comments is like my writing, whether it's the songs, because I've written a lot of songs, and quite a few of those are in the book too.
Wow! And
I've been able to perform some of them that I've written at churches, and actually some secular stuff I did way back when to a large audience, about 2,000 people. That was exciting. Wow. But anyway, it's just it's all over the map, and like I said, that's the way I like it. It's just I think of something, I get an idea, I grab a piece of paper, and I just start writing stuff down.
That's really cool.
So some of it's philosophical, a lot of it's just funny. I wrote a poem called Velvet Elvis, if anybody knows what a Velvet Elvis painting is. And it's not about the paintings, it's an ex-girlfriend's complaint about her boyfriend, calling him a Velvet Elvis. So anyway, that's a funny one.
That's pretty good. I like that one.
Yeah, beneath the brilliant colors, her soul is cold and black. So, but anyway, like you said, the Sun Studios, and big fan of all the Sun records the Love and Spoonful came out with a song called Nashville Cats, which I really like. And they're saying the Sun records are from Nashville. No, they're not. No, they're from Memphis, Tennessee. That's right. But anyway, I love that. And I do have a lot of songs. A lot of them are gospel songs, if you want to call them that. There's one called It's a Jesus Thing. Pardon me, It's a Jesus Thing. One that I wrote back in 2004 called Vision of Jesus. I've been able to perform that one a number of times, and a number of others. But anyway, hopefully I'll get to do more of the performance part of it.
I think you will.
I'm going to be accompanying Nikki, Music in the Park.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
To do karaoke at Abigail's this Thursday. So
that'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Really looking forward to that. But and as I told you before we started here, I wrote a poem, which I'll read it if you want me to, or you can read it.
I would love for you to read this.
Okay.
I would like to go out with this. So why don't we do this? How can we get your book now? It's on Amazon.
It's on Amazon. There's a QR code, but if you just go to Amazon, go to the book section, put Love and Blood in the Heartland, it'll come up, or you put my name, it'll come up. And I am going to be doing book signings. I know I'm going to be doing one, hopefully, if my books come in time. I think that'll be no problem, but that'll be June 21st in Carrollton. But I plan to do one in Grafton, Jerseyville. I'd like to set something up in Alton. I don't have any idea for sure where to go with that. With that one, I might need some help on that one. Staunton, where I graduated from high school. Carrollton definitely is a big one, and that's the 21st.
Yeah.
And so I'm not sure, but we'll get the word out best we can when we have book signings coming up.
100%. And Don, thank you so much for sharing. This was such a great conversation. It was really a fascinating one, and I wish you nothing but success with the book. I know you will.
Thank you.
And now, with that being said, you did write this for the RiverBender, and I would love for you to take it away.
All right. And if there's anything in here you don't recognize, just Google it, okay? Yeah. And it's called Let's Start with Jacques. Folks in the Riverbend knew him as Jacques. His title means father, père, father, Marquette. Explorer, cartographer, missionary, priest, he mapped the Great Water with Lou Joliet. Native Americans from many tribes like Fox and Illini and Little Osage hunted and fished and told scary tales of the Piasa bird and the men that it ate. Of course, Lincoln Douglas, their final debate. Lewis and Clark with their Pierrots and gear. NBA's Gallatin, Cheyenne's Clint Walker, and Robert, the tall, gentle giant, lived here. Steam-driven, smoke-belching paddle wheel boats, Sam Clemens ringing the brass pilot's bell, Miles Davis setting new standards in jazz, and the great rivers have their own story to tell. The wide Mississippi bends up toward the north to Grafton's high bluffs where the bald eagles preen. Its confluence there with the Illinois River creates a peninsula, fertile and green, Calhoun. It's locally known as the Kingdom. Rolling hills, hollers, the fields, apple trees. Then passing by Alton, East Alton, Wood River, the two mighty rivers turn southward and east. RiverBend, this is a world all its own. More than our words or a map could define. A balm for the soul, but alive and exciting, historic and timeless, all at the same time.
That's great, Don. Thank you so much for that. That was wonderful.
You're welcome.
You can get a copy of Don's book on Amazon, and I'm gonna save this and put that in the article too, because I think that's really cool. Don, thank you so much for your time. We'll take a quick break, and we'll link everything on a write-up on RiverBender.com. You stay there, I'll stay here on Roku TV, and we'll be back after this.